Welcome to the Film Junket podcast.
What's happening, guys? Dave the Film Junkie here. I have no idea why I did that, and I apologize for doing that. I don't know. It's been weird because if you follow me on social media, about 2 weeks ago, I got sick. Well, this is what I hate about working in an office, my real job, my prison that I have to frequent 5 days a week. Is when somebody gets sick, yeah, it's very likely that you probably will get sick too. And the admin girl got sick with some kind of virus where she was out for almost 2 weeks. And yeah, there's one day where I had a huge fever, headache. I was feeling like ass. Felt like I was gonna get all stuffed up, and I left work early and then doped myself up and slept for about 15 hours. It was awesome. It was the best sleep I ever had. No. Yeah, kind of. But she said she was on and off, it wouldn't go away. So that was happening with me. There was times where I feel like shit, feel nauseous, and I don't know what the hell is going on. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good now. I haven't really had that feeling, but it would just be random. Like the other day, I was driving home from work, and I was feeling like complete ass. I thought this was on Thursday. It was on a Thursday, and I was going to go see Hereditary with my friend, and I was almost thinking about just canceling on her. I almost did. I almost thought about it because I was just driving going, what the hell's going on? I feel nauseous. My head's kind of almost hurting. What the hell's going on? I don't know. It was just some kind of weird, freaky virus, but ever since then, I have not felt bad, so we'll see what happens. I don't know. Yeah, there you go, guys. That's what's going on in my life. Hey, what's happening, guys? Interesting things happening in real life I'll talk about first. Well, for a little bit there, I didn't know what the hell was going on with my job, the job that I currently work at, where I draft engineer plans for various telecom companies. It's been really up and down ever since I've worked there, and I don't know. I can't remember if I've actually mentioned if my boss quit. I think I did. My boss quit in March, and ever since then it's just been craziness, and he was basically the glue that held that place together, and it's been showing since he's left. It's been bad. It's been going down the shitter. My job title, what I got hired on for, I'm not currently doing. I'm not. In a way, I guess I kind of am, but what they have me tasked at doing is not what I got hired on for. And I'm not one of those people, and I fucking hate that, and if you're one of those people, do not do this. Do not do that whole thing, because I've heard it many times, especially working in the various offices. It's not my job! It's not my job. Fucking, hey, man. It's not what I get paid for. Don't say that. You get paid to work at a company, and if they want you to do something that's not in your job description, who cares? Tackle it anyways. I don't like it when people say that shit. I honestly like new challenges. Spice it up a little bit. I don't mind that. But when I hear people say my job title, say my job description, I'm like, no, your job is to work here, and if they want you to do something that's out of the ordinary, do it. But what sucks about what they were wanting me to do is they didn't know how exactly to do it. I had to figure it out. Which, yes, I somewhat enjoy because it's like taking on a new challenge, and there's nothing wrong with that. Spices it up. But it can be very frustrating, and it has been. But with that, I was like, I don't know what the hell's going on with this place. And then where I currently live, I live in my buddy's back house. He doesn't live in the front house, but he owns the entire property. And so he's got people renting in the front and me renting in the back. And he told me recently that he's planning on selling the house. So basically, it was it was like, I don't know what's going on in my job, and I don't know what's going on in my living conditions here. I might be having to move, and I might lose my job. Kind of scary. A little scary, a little stressful. You know, maybe some sleepless nights where overthinking too much of stuff. But by the way, I'm drinking my vodka tonight. Dude, I shined off a bottle of Gentleman's Jack this weekend because I was celebrating, and that's where I'm getting to, guys. And, you know, it sucks because, sadly, my YouTube stuff, you know, it's not taking over. It's so difficult. It could be so goddamn difficult to do this job, guys. It's not... I mean, you really got to look at it in so many different factors when it comes to this job because, you know, it fluctuates. There's no way that it's going to be steady. There's no way that it's going to constantly be going up. And, well, good thing is it doesn't always constantly go down. You know, it's a fucking roller coaster when it comes to doing this because obviously the more views, the more revenue you generate and stuff. And, you know, I do this as a side thing, but of course it's what I'm passionate about. I love talking about shit. I love talking about movies, and I love, you know, discussing things, you know, various things. But, you know, sadly I'm not there yet, and, you know, it's kind of been on the down lately. It has, but I mean, it's just the way it is. But I always got to look at it as every little aspect. I mean, and this is what I recommend you guys, if you're trying to get into this field or you're trying to get something similar to it. Anything that has to do with your brand or with anything like social media or whatnot, even if it doesn't pay you anything, it's still work. It's still something that's helping your brand or your business. And I got to constantly remind myself, like, you know, because, well, I guess I would always say, don't tell my boss, but fuck it now because, well, I still haven't got to that part. But, you know, at work, I would always have my Twitter page open. So when I'm working on something and maybe I'm like, and then I'll just go to my Twitter, kind of look what's going on. I'll retweet things, comment on things. You know, that's part about building my brand, building my following. You know, saying things and hoping not to sound like an asshole or get fucking reamed for stupid bullshit from like the PC police. Because, you know, guys, I don't really like to follow the law of the PC police, not all the time. So you know, that's part of it. And when I look at my following on Twitter growing every day, I get new followers every day and subscribers every day. It's like, yeah, maybe the views are fluctuating, but I'm getting actual followers every day. You know, they might unfollow me within 12 minutes of following me because they saw something I didn't like, that they didn't like. It's kind of sad, too, because I've actually gotten unfollowed by mutual people who I've talked to, conversed with, and so I'll get to that later. Anyway, but you got to look at it like that. Every little aspect, social media and stuff, it's part about building up your brand, building up your following. You know, it's not paying me anything. Anytime I get a follower, I don't get like a little fucking, like $1 or $2 or nothing like that. No. You know what I mean? The revenue is generated through the viewings of my social media or selling a T-shirt or a sticker. You know, that's where the revenue. But if you're developing a following and people that are liking what you have to say, they're gonna watch your videos. You know, and it's gonna keep on going up and up and up. So you gotta constantly remind yourself of that. But back to my real life. It was looking a little dire for a bit there, but I mean, my backup plan, and I've mentioned this before, is like I'm gonna eventually just move to Vegas, get the fuck out of California, because it's just this place. I don't know, unless they divide it in 3 states, which it's looking like that might happen. That's what's gonna need to happen to save this godforsaken country. Well, it's huge. It's big enough to be a country. It's bigger than some countries, like internationally. This state, to save this godforsaken state, with what's everything, with the traffic, with the economy, with the poor, the homeless population is just going up and up and up and up and up. And we got fucking politicians that don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're just pander to the bullshit. I mean, I've seen the commercials and heard their campaigns. I'm gonna take on the NRA, gay marriage. Okay, what about traffic in the homeless population, dick? Those are what's affecting all your citizens and the economy. Okay, I get it. Are you going to take on the NRA? Well, fine. Good luck to you. What are you, Rambo? Oh wait, you're taking on the NRA, so you're just gonna show up with squirt guns, apparently. But then gay marriage. Okay, well that's pretty much okay. And like I said, it's only affecting a small percentage of the population. But mainly, it's fine. Gay people can get married in this state. So let's work on the infrastructure. It sucks if I want to drive to LA, I got to really think ahead and leave really early, especially if I go to LAX. I can't, And then when I'm looking at every off-ramp, I'm seeing homeless camps everywhere. Like, maybe tackle that. And Dr. Drew, we all know who Dr. Drew is, right? Dr. Drew Pinsky. He is so worried that there's going to be a new bubonic plague that's going to brew up in LA because of the homeless population, and San Francisco. Pretty much the big cities that we have. I don't know what's going on in San Diego, but 2 big cities in California have a homeless population that is shitting all over the streets, and rodents are getting into it, and it's basically developing new viruses and stuff like that. People are going to get sick and die. Dr. Drew is worried, big time worried about it, because that's what's going to happen. But these politicians don't give a rat's fuck about it. They want to pander to the fucking shit. I'm here for gay marriage, and I'm here for to take on the NRA, because I don't want another school shooting. Well, I don't know why would I use that voice. They don't, it's so sad. But they don't have any plans for that. It's like, okay, what are you going to do? Take on the NRA? Well, okay, let's say stop school shootings. So how's that going to help? What's the plan? Oh, they don't have a plan. They don't have a plan for anything. They just want to pander. Anyways, so, man, I keep on going off on little tangents here, but no, that was my backup plan. Was I was going to move to Vegas because I got family over there. My dad's been saying like, hey, come here if you need to. Hey, doors open. He loves it over there. I love it over there. Times I visit, I love it over there. It's clean. It's not as crowded. I mean, it's slowly getting there, but it's just clean and it's just awesome. It's just nice over there, and the economy's great. Obviously, they got all kinds of gambling going on, so you don't have a state tax. That's why he moved there. He was in the Army for over 30 years, and if he would have retired in California would have raped, straight out, no lube, bent it over, and raped his retirement. That's why he decided, hey, I'm gonna go to Vegas, or it's not technically Vegas. He's like about 15-20 minutes from the Strip. And they don't touch it. They don't touch his retirement. There you go. Right there. So that was my backup plan. But it's funny. I'm sitting there at work at my desk, just doing my thing, and all of a sudden, my phone starts ringing. And I look, and I see the name, and I'm going, what the hell? It's my old job, my previous job, that I left for this job. And it's the HR lady, and she tells me that the president lady wants to ask for me if I wanted to come back because they need some help. And I went, whoa, well, okay. And then she told me the rate, which is more than I make at my current job. And yeah, hung up the phone going, well, there you go. I guess I can't pass that up. Because, as much as I did want to go to Vegas and just like, hey, let's start fresh. Let me just, it'll give me time to really work on my YouTube and stuff like that. But, no matter what, I'll always work on my YouTube stuff and my online stuff. I will never stop. Never stop, guys. I'll never stop talking to you. It just would have been, man, I'm going to move in with my dad. Even though he has a current job. It's not like he's at home just enjoying his retirement. He still works. He's a worker bee. He works. He's still, because he flew helicopters in the Army, and he does that now as a civilian, transporting hospital, hospital patients, or somebody like goes on a hike, has a heat stroke. He goes in there. Basically, almost like what The Rock did in San Andreas, rescuing. But it's not like that. You should hear him anytime. It's so funny when he talks about when they show helicopters in movies. He goes, "Come on," especially when in San Andreas when The Rock flew the helicopter where he needed to. He's all, that wouldn't happen. That's bullshit. It's funny when he says that. He'll always say that, but he still enjoys some movies. Because we go to movies, every now and again. I always like going to movies with him. He loves movies like I do. Anyways, so he works actually in California, so he'll drive out. I mean, Vegas is not that far from where he's about 3.5 hours, but he's like a week on, a week off. So if I were to move with him, he wouldn't be there all the time. But at the same time, I'm like, fucking moving back into with a parent and then trying to find a job and trying to get things going and blah, blah, blah. Even though, finding an apartment over there, way cheaper than California, of course. Like, it's crazy. I'm like, ah. But, so getting this offer from my old job to come back, I was kind of like, well, there you go. So, and it's a nice offer, and yeah, it's all kicking into gear. They gave me the offer letter, and I already put in my notice at my job. I'm taking a week off, though. I only put in a week's notice. I was like, I'm not putting a 2 weeks notice. I told, I was like, I need a week off just to refresh my brain, reboot, and, and I'm an apartment hunt, too, to try to move closer to where this job. So, because commuting, like in California, sucks everywhere. It just does. It just sucks. So I'm gonna do that as well. So, yeah, there you go, guys. So, going back to my old job, getting paid more, and hopefully gonna be moving now that my buddy is gonna be selling this place where I currently live, the property. So. It's just crazy how, yeah, there you go. I was wondering what the fuck's going to happen, kind of stressing about it, and then bam, all good. So anyways, Kelly Tran. Obviously, I did a video about the Kelly Tran situation, and then I did a follow-up video, which I probably shouldn't have, but that's what I want to talk about right now. Okay, so the ugly side of fandom, which we all know about, which is entitled fans. Entitled fanboys, it's mainly dudes, of course. It is. I'm not gonna lie. That's where I agree. The Kelly Tran situation, if you didn't hear about it, which I'm sure you did, is she decided to walk away from social media because of harassment she was getting, and not the first time it's happened, and it won't be the last, and there probably will never be an actual solution. But what I have a problem with people, and I've had debates with some people, the past week and stuff, that the overall problem, the base problem, is just entitled fans. This dates back to Jake Lloyd. Where's Jake Lloyd now? He might be in jail. Hayden Christensen walking away from acting, from all the harassment he got. George Lucas sold Lucasfilm. Did not want to make another movie because of the harassment he got from Star Wars fans. But people want to just, of course, now in 2018, everybody wants to just go, hey, well, look at Kelly Tran. She's a woman and she's Asian. So obviously, that's the reason. I saw somebody, and I retweeted it because they're like, what does Leslie Jones and Kelly Tran have in common? And I'm like, come on, dude. First off, the two situations between Leslie Jones and Kelly Tran, not the same. Why? Because Kelly Tran is a sweetheart and just decided to walk away because of all the harassment. She got an opportunity of a lifetime. You say what you want about the character. I mean, I said in my review that I didn't like it's not like I didn't like her. They could do something with their character, fine. But I just didn't like what they did with the character. Leslie Jones, very combative. I can't stand Leslie Jones. When that whole situation happened, when Ghostbusters came out, she was going after all the haters because she couldn't resist. And now, that doesn't say, and don't say I'm saying like that totally means that the people that sent her the racist shit, the disgusting racist shit, that doesn't that doesn't, I'm not saying like what the fuck, the word I'm trying to say, I can't even say it. I'm not condoning that. No, that's disgusting. I looked at all that and I was like, holy shit. It was gross. Okay? But if you feed the trolls, they're going to go there. they're going to go there. And she fed them. Fed them big time. She said really stupid shit. A lot of stupid shit. She's even said racist shit. I don't know, you can't be racist towards white people. Yes, you can. Fuck, I hate that when you say, oh, you can't be racist towards white people. It's like, no. Hey, if we all want to be equal here, because everybody claims we want equality, then hey, guess what? You could be racist towards white people. A lot of white people just want to live their lives and they're decent human beings and everything like that. And if somebody from another race says some racist shit to them, they don't get a fucking pass. That's bullshit. Unless it's one of those guys with the tiki torches, you can say whatever the fuck you want. They deserve that shit. Those neo-Nazi stupid pieces of shit. Yeah, you can say whatever you want to them. But if it's just like a normal person, fuck you if you don't think that that's the case. It's just dumb. So stupid. It's ignorant. So it's not the same. Yeah, Leslie Jones fed into it and then all of a sudden played the victim. You know, she fed into it and then played the victim. Big time. And Ghostbusters was fucking horrible. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Star Wars Last Jedi was not. I don't care what anybody says. But yeah, so everybody always they always want to narrow into that, and it's funny too because it always goes to that, no matter what. It always goes to that. Anytime it's like a person of color, or even if it's just a woman, it's always it's misogyny. And no matter what, in 2018, you know, let me give you the situation here. Say I lived on a street, okay? I lived next to a white guy, and then on the opposite side of him lived a black guy. And this guy was just a dick. He was just a fucking asshole, right? He was an asshole to me, and he was an asshole to the black guy. Well, I would just be like, well, yeah, he's just an asshole. He just doesn't like me, and he just doesn't like people. The black guy can easily just go, well, he's obviously a racist because I'm black. Not everything. Anytime a white person doesn't like or says shit to a person of color, doesn't automatically say that they're racist. Maybe they just don't like the person. But it always gets deemed that. The narrative, anytime something's put out there, it's always that. You know, especially with cops. Don't get me started on that. But it's just, I don't like that. Because, see, me, even though I'm half Mexican, which I always have to, like, people don't see that. They don't see my last name. And then sometimes I'm like, hey, look at my last name. Go ahead and Google the origin of my last name. Hell, that's right. I'm half Mexican. Got Spanish in me. Oh, look at that. My dad. Look at my dad. My dad looks Mexican. Dark hair, mustache. Oh, yeah, 100%. But it's always like that, you know? And then it gets blown up to this whole thing like, oh, it's racism and misogyny. And like, no, the core of the toxic fandom is just entitled fans that think that always, like I said, that Bill Maher quote, that's like, why didn't you make the movie I wanted you to make? That's the movie I wanted to make. They're never going to be happy. Never going to be happy. And that's what sucks. That's what's killing fandom. Yes, there's branches of it, yeah, where they use racism. They use misogyny. Don't get me wrong. They do that. And that's shitty too. But the core, the basis of this stupid fandom is always just entitled pieces of shit that were coddled by their fucking parents. You blame their parents for this because their parents let them get away with everything. And like, hey, oh yeah, you can live here as long as you want. And they're like well in their 30s living at home. Basement dwellers on a Hot Pocket and Mountain Dew diet. Cheese nips. You can blame these parents. Pretty much all our problems the core of it is parents. You know what's sad? What's sad about human beings is the fact of that making a person is one of the easiest things we could do. And you know, having sex is great. We all enjoy sex. But what does that do? It could create a life. I mean, if God exists, that is a cruel joke. Because one of the most pleasurable things that us humans can do is have sex, but then it creates another life that you have to be responsible for. And there is a lot of parents out there that don't want to take responsibility for jack shit. It's crazy. And that's the core of all this. When it comes to fandom, you got these parents that won't kick out these basement goblins that just want to sit behind their keyboard and screens and bitch about movies and comics and shit, like everything. It's really sad. It's really sad. That's the basis of it. So I get it. It's 2019. You know, we got to point out the racism and misogyny. But hey, can we work big to small? Because that's the small part. The big part is entitlement. That's all I'm saying. Now to the Snyder Cut stuff. Okay, I said on here, and I've said before, like, hey, any of these guys, when I called out Heroic Gateway, when I called out that fucking douchebag Spanish reviewer that's claimed that he saw the Snyder Cut and didn't, and neither did Heroic Gateway, I said, hey, anybody, and even anybody, you know, I even had mutual people that are possibly voices too. I said, come on here, let's hash out. If you don't like what I have to say, then let's do it. Let's come on here and let's talk about it. I've had mutual people unfollow and mute me. One in particular that I was shocked at. I was like, damn, I must have said something bad. But at the same time, I get it because he's kind of a puss. And we had a debate once because he said that ever since Trump got elected, he's seen like racism spike in his life. And I'm going, okay, well, if that's the case, and I say this to anybody because I've heard it many times where it's like, oh yeah, racism is just running rampant in this country. This country is going to hell. And I'm going, okay, remember the cookout lady, the barbecue thing, and that went viral, and other various videos went viral? Over 300 million people in this country. That means there should be a viral video happening every 3 minutes. And if something's happening in your life, hey, guess what? You have a camera strapped to your ass. Pull out your camera and call out these people. I've literally had somebody say like, yeah, the KKK might as well be walking around the streets. Are you fucking kidding me? Most of the people in this country think the KKK is an absolute joke. Those neo-Nazi fuckers who are pudgy, losing their hair, looking like pasty fucking assholes that couldn't pleasure a woman worth of shit, carrying tiki torches, and they were like a super small group, but the media and everybody gave so much attention to them and made it sound like they were running rampant throughout the country, and that's just not the case. Half of my family is Mexican. I've literally had people say like, oh yeah, Trump hates them, better watch out. I'm going, no, they're fine. They don't care. They're here legally and they don't worry about them. Some of them voted for Trump just because they didn't like Hillary. That's mainly the reason why. They didn't like her policies and stuff. Anyways, it's just, it boggles my mind. I don't even know where I was going with this. Fuck. I lost my train of thought. The Snyder Cut stuff. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, somebody, unfollowed me and muted me, and I was, like, shocked. I was like, I guess I said something you didn't like to say. But he made it seem like racism. And I'm like, well, why aren't you filming this? Because anytime something like that happens, where a white guy, is being a fucking racist asshole to somebody of color, that shit goes viral. It goes viral. And if racism was running so rampantly, there should be a video, like, there should be 27 videos a day. There really should be. With so many people here. But no, it's not the case. Mainly people just are decent, and mainly people just want to live their lives and make something of themselves, raise some families, just do that shit. Anyways, but the Snyder Cut viewings, yeah, I put it out there. I was like, anybody that wants to discuss, come on my podcast. We'll do a live podcast and hash things out. If you don't like what I have to say about things, come on my podcast. I won't be a fucking dick unless you piss me off while we're talking about it and say stupid shit. Then I'll be a dick, but I'll welcome you welcomely. I'm fine with that. And Heroic Gateway, welcome to come here. And it's sad because they posted that stupid Justice League versus the Legion of Doom. That stupid that anybody can make, and it's always the same. It's always a screen, it's tilted, and it's blurry, as if they did like a drive-by photo. Like, oh my god, I saw this real quick, I had to take a quick picture just to validate it. Every time I see that, I'm like, it's bullshit, obviously. And Heroic Gateway, of course, posted it, but they needed Scoopy Pants. They needed Scoopy Pants just to fucking verify, and they updated it. Thank you, Umberto, for confirming it was fake. Like, really? You needed that asshole to fucking tell you that it was fake? That's sad. And you know what's funny? Those guys, they blocked me on Instagram. People actually asked them, why'd you block Film Junkie? The guy running that claimed that he didn't. Bullshit. Guy's a fucking liar. He's a fucking liar. Because the next day, he unblocked me. Yes. I checked. Because, hey, I just wanted to check. And all of a sudden, it was like, oh, yeah, I could see your post now. And I put out the invitation. If he were to want to come on my podcast so we could discuss him putting on his watermark on the hashtags and claiming that he saw the Snyder Cut, come on my podcast and let's discuss it. Haven't heard jack shit. Which just shows me right there, full of shit. Full of shit. Sad. Don't do that shit. What's my hash? What's? I almost said what's my hashtag, guys? What is my my mantra? My motto? Have some integrity, man. And sadly, where we're at right now is like a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. They just post bullshit. They say bullshit. And this is why I'm like trying to like tell people stop doing the whole retweet quoting thing. Stop doing that. For people that are trolls that have like 6 followers. When you do that, you're feeding right into them and you're giving them exposure. This is what Trump does. Trump is the ultimate troll, and he is trolled and done, what he does with Twitter. He has fucked people over, like journalists who are supposedly journalists that make money off of attacking him on his, or waiting for him to tweet something and then attacking him. When he blocks them, he took their paycheck right out of their pocket. And they'll like scream left and right, it's illegal for the president to block. And I'm like, really? It's illegal for the president to block somebody on Twitter? That's weird. It's freedom of speech. They always try to play all that. This is exactly what trolls love to do. They love to push buttons, and then we retweet and comment on them. Like we're patting ourselves on the back, trying to make ourselves look good for our followers, but we're giving them exposure. Ultimate exposure. And I'm not saying that I have not done it. I've done it so many times, but I'm trying not to do it now. And if you're going to do that, guess what? The best thing you could do is screenshot the tweet, then comment on it. Don't actually retweet the tweet. We got to stop doing that because we're feeding into it. We're totally feeding into it. And sadly, yeah, there's just people out there that are saying, "Oh yeah, I've seen it. Oh yeah, I don't. Believe it's true, of course." By the way, Snyder, he's currently building an office theater, which I heard about. I heard he was setting up some kind of home theater or office theater. Yeah, he's doing that. Obviously, it's a good way to show stuff, show films, and yeah, there might be something he eventually shows to the cast, to fans. Who knows? See what happens. I do plan on going to the panel and screenings of, I think he's doing Dawn of the Dead, Batman vs. Superman, and Watchmen, Director's Cut, which that's a long day. Jeez. Because we know Snyder's films are long, and then he's going to do a panel. It's going to be a full day of just awesomeness. I plan on going. To that. Pasadena. I don't live far from there, so I plan on going to it. So hopefully I get to talk to the man, too. That'd be sweet. Yeah, we're connected on Vero. He likes my post. But let's see what happens. We'll see what happens, guys. But keep your eyes open with stuff. Don't ever, I mean, I know, like, Scoopy Pants and Jimmy Con Radical. Oh, it doesn't exist. Fuck you, you're stupid. No, it does. I think a lot of people are getting way too overhyped about it. I'm going to do a video about this. I already did a video about Matt Reeves and Ben Affleck possibly being at Comic-Con, because that sounds like that could be the case. You know, if Affleck is not walking away and Reeves is like, he's got a script, he's got the story, he's ready to go, it wouldn't shock me if he's there, if both of them are there. And they're like, hey, we're going to do a fucking trilogy or something. That'd be cool. But don't get overhyped, you know. I don't like it when people get so overhyped and then all of a sudden, you know, they get let down. It's just what happens, especially when it comes to movies. You know, you start coming up with theories, and then all of a sudden it doesn't happen, and like, and then you get the entitlement shit, and that's just not good. Not good. Yeah, Snyder going to Comic-Con, I highly doubt that. The Snyder Cut especially being announced, no. Warner Brothers wants to look forward, okay? And they got plenty to look forward to when it comes to the DCEU. I think they really want to forget about Justice League right now. And when it comes to Snyder Cut, I mean, but hey, I could be wrong. You never know. It seems highly unlikely. So don't get too hyped up about that. What happened? Ocean's 8 did a good job. I didn't see it. You know, I mean, I wasn't too impressed by the trailers. You know, I'm not liking the whole thing of like, why we always got to piggyback and gender swap. You know, and, you know, so of course, Mr. Scott Mendelson had to put in his 2 cents, talking about, like, why is there so much pressure to do an all-female cast and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, there's so many movies that have female casts that have been successful and have not been successful. Well, I can think of one that wasn't as successful as it should have been. Annihilation! What's your excuse for that? You balding fuck? Oh, yeah, that was another thing about the Tran stuff. I made, you know, people were saying, like, I made fun of Whedon's appearance. You know, looking at all that, I shouldn't have made the follow-up video. I understand that now, guys. And because it was mainly bots. And because when I looked at the follow-up Tran video, there was literally about, like, 12 comments all within a minute of each other that got posted that was relatively the same thing. Calling me a hypocrite, saying my parents should be disappointed, and just saying like really weird shit, and then it stopped, and I haven't checked recently, but then all of a sudden it was like there was no more of those comments. So yeah, I don't know how exactly bots work, but yeah, and maybe I shouldn't have followed up, but I mean, I wanted to make the point that yes, I have made fun of Whedon's appearance because he's a goofy looking motherfucker, but he's also a scumbag. You know, from what I've heard, you know, with Justice League and other things too that's come out in the news, mainly from his ex-wife, that he's a douche. He's a douchebag. You know, he's made some great stuff. I still love the stuff that he's made. Don't get me wrong. And hopefully he could turn around and show me something like, hey, whatever. But I didn't do it to him directly, and I wasn't trying to get him kicked off. And my whole point was he left social media too because Marvel fans didn't like what he did with Age of Ultron. Similar to what happened to Kelly Tran. That's what I was trying to make a point of. Anyways, so Ocean's 8 did well, and the reason why it did is because it wasn't a Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters Paul Feig was trying to make a statement. He was trying to make a statement, and he lashed out on people, and it was all bullshit. And not to mention, that was like a cherished nerd franchise. The Ocean's 11 franchise is not a cherished nerd franchise. You gotta remember, you gotta decipher that too. It's like, you gotta separate it like that. There's not nerds like out there going, Oceans, another Oceans, but yes, and have posters everywhere, and you know, so no, it's not the same. So, but apparently I hadn't seen it. I do want to see it, just to see what it's like. They kept it very much in that universe and kept the style, you know, the style of the movie similar to the other Oceans movie. So it's very unlike Ghostbusters, but you know, of course. But I'm like saying, like, Annihilation, full female cast, complete original movie, and people slept on it. Because everybody just wants the brands. The brands. You know, everybody's screaming about a female James Bond and a goddamn Black Widow movie. And like, shut the fuck up. Come up with something new. We got a version of the female Bond, which was Atomic Blonde. It was more like a female Jason Bourne, but whatever. Still, she was a spy. Create more characters like that. Create new things. Don't piggyback off of existing brands. That's bullshit. Female leads are nothing new. But these people make it seem like nobody wants them. Because we're all misogynistic. But there's so many female icons, female-led icons. Your Ripleys, your Brides, the Bride. I mean, look at Mad Max. I mean, yeah, that was different because there was an existing brand that was about the same character, but there was a female lead in there that blew our minds. Charlize Theron kicked ass. They injected a new character into that. And I would say that's kind of similar to Ocean's 8, even though I'm not like a fan of it, that the fact that they're still continuing the universe. But at the same time, it's like they didn't try to just like remake the entire thing and just gender swap like Ghostbusters did. They wanted to ignore the previous universe. They continued the universe, but now it's like, hey, here's new characters. So yeah, okay, fine. That'll work better than just trying to fucking do what Paul Feig tried to do, idiot. I was going to talk about Comic-Con, but I've already been rambling on too much about it. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do another live podcast with somebody, maybe like Chris Wong or something like that. And we'll talk about, Comic-Con, what to expect and shit like that. I don't know. It'll be fun. I've just been rambling too much about other shit. So let's just get to the questions already. Oh, is there anything else? No, everything else, yeah. Yeah, we're good. Talked about the fandom. I mean, like I said, the core of the fandom problem is just entitlement, It's just that. And it's never going to fully go away. And I know Grace Randolph. Woo! Man, she just needs to shut up. She was claiming that, oh yeah, Kelly Tran should have realized or something like that, and then like Finn was a token black character and black people don't like to watch Star Wars, and I went, whoa! I'm like, I know plenty of black people that like Star Wars. Jesus Christ, lady. What in the fuck? That was like I was like, whoa. To make that statement was just absolutely ridiculous. I'm like, fuck, I know plenty on my timeline in real life that love Star Wars. It's like, whoa, Jesus Christ. But I mean, like, Kelly Tran, oh yeah, though she should have known. She said something about a stupid haircut. I'm like, okay, I'll agree with the whole part of like they didn't write the character that well. Yeah, okay, fine, I'll agree with that. Because I didn't like what they did with the character, but to make fun of the haircut and say it was just like, wow, I really can't stand watching her with the way that she talks, stuff like that. We got a new trailer. It's like, whoa. Well, does she actually talk like that in real life? Or is that just the way she talks on camera? I don't get it. She just needs to shut the fuck up. She'll probably call me a misogynist because, oh yeah, she could play the woman card. Because obviously I'm a man. I'm mansplaining, guys. By the way, that term is ridiculous because anybody can use that. Any woman can use that. Oh, you're just mansplaining. For any guy that's explaining something. I mean, there are times when, yeah, the guy can sound like a douche. But, if you're just going to say, like, oh, you're just mansplaining, I'm like, well, what am I supposed to say? If you're clearly wrong here, or I'm trying to put in my opinion here, you can't just, like, do a cop-out and say you're mansplaining just to fucking shut me up. And by the way, yeah, no guy would say, oh, well, you're just womansplaining. Why won't we do that? Because it's sexist. Because it's sexist, guys. Right? Just like mansplaining is. Anyways. Machine Gaku Black. I always say your fucking name wrong, and I apologize. He asked, with his time as younger Magneto in the X-Men universe seemingly coming to an end, wouldn't Michael Fassbender make a fantastic villain casting choice for the DCEU? Sinestro comes to mind, or even better, even Fassbender and Serkis team up against the Batman. Yeah, you know what's funny though? I always see this and I'm just like, every time somebody like has a favorite actor that does something well in like a movie, oh my god, what's his nuts? Logan from Upgrade. He's so great. Oh, he was wasted in MCU. He should come to the DCEU. We always do this. Oh, John Krasinski did such a great job with A Quiet Place. He should direct a DCEU movie. It's like, can we not do that? Okay, can we? Every time that somebody is awesome in something or like their tenure is going to end, oh yeah, you should just come over to the DCU now. It's like, no, let him do whatever the fuck he wants. You know, I don't think he's going to want to go into another franchise universe. But at the same time, I'm going, I mean, even he would even be an okay Riddler. I like the Sinestro idea too. But if you want to talk about Batman, he'd be a pretty good Riddler. I know some people fan cast that. Drew's Askew, he asked, has Hamada ever publicly addressed his feelings on what happened with Snyder? Like, do you think he got to Warner Brothers and was like, what? That was wrong! We have to fix this immediately! Do you think he will bring Snyder back in to show fans they care? Well, no, Hamada does not have a social media, which, power to him, he should never get a social media. He should just do his job, and that's fine. So he's never made it publicly. He never publicly addressed anything. He's just trying to do his thing. Yeah, he might have thought that was all wrong. I saw something where some dude keeps on commenting underneath Chris Wong's videos, and they said that Hamada wants to offer Snyder Man of Steel 2, and that's absolute fucking bullshit. It's not going to happen. Snyder is not going to be directing another DC movie. As far as I could tell, he's not. Because when it comes down to it, guys, the studio still wants to make money. Okay? And as much as Snyder gave us like some pretty damn good fucking flicks, it was very divisive between DC fans and even moviegoers. Okay? It doesn't matter. Like, it's so weird how his movies always get cherished, like, 7 years later. Oh, wait, that was a masterpiece. Like, yeah, that's what we were trying to talk about. You fuck. So, I doubt that. I doubt that he would actually bring him back. I really do. I really doubt that. So, what the fuck? I clicked my hashtag and there's an ad for God's Not Dead, A Light in the Darkness. God damn it, Twitter. Fuck. God's not dead? I thought he couldn't die. Shut up. I haven't seen any one of those movies and don't plan on it. I'm an atheist. What can you say? Karan Desai, painter of comics. How do you balance I guess you forgot to say you. How do you balance your work with your YouTube channel videos? I mean, do any of your coworkers or bosses listen in or your channel or your podcast? I hope not, because I talk about them. I really hope not. Now, I remember a guy that got brought on. He asked, "What was my podcast name?" And I just said Film Junkie. He's, I'm gonna look into that. I'm gonna look at that. I don't think he ever did. I think he was just trying to scare me. So, who knows? It's dumb. And if they do, I mean, I highly doubt it. It's like whatever. Especially the job I'm going to now, I don't think they'll even care. And maybe I should not talk about work too much when it comes to that stuff. And I usually don't. I talk about the good things about it mainly, but yeah, we'll see. John G or JGG Bobby 0992828. What's your favorite CBM from the last 3 years? Well, that's easy. Batman vs Superman. Come on. Clayton. I was at the Claytalian. Yes. What are your thoughts on the villain of Suicide Squad being Deathstroke? He'd be hired by Penguin or Black Mask to kill the Riddler. Waller wants the Riddler for info. He has Q Task Force versus the Terminator. Joker and Harley would be wild cards. And a bonus question, where do you think we will see Jonas? Or why did I say Jonas? Man, that was a weird fucking burst in my brain. I don't even know, guys. I'm not even going to try to think about that one. Where would you see Deathstroke next? That'd be cool if Deathstroke was the villain. It almost sounds like it's still going to be, it almost might be Black Adam. I don't know. Where do we think we'll see Deathstroke next? Maybe there'll be a hint of it in the Batman movie. Maybe there'll be a hint of it in Suicide Squad 2. That'd be better, I think, if we just had a hint. You know, an Easter egg or something. I don't think he'll be the villain in it, but you never know. But what I keep hearing is Black Adam might be who they're trying to fucking find. I don't know. Fran, Dater Fran, at Dater_Fran, of this percentage of the Snyder Cut being announced I'm SDCC or before, I guess you meant in Comic-Con or before? Neither. 0. 0 at Comic-Con and 0 before that. Well, yeah, not the Snyder. Yeah, 0. 0 and 0. Sorry, bud. Bootleg Winter Soldier. He asks, or she asks, I think. Yeah, you have a crazy profile pic there. It's awesome, though. I see long hair. But who knows? Let's see. How do you think people will react to Aquaman? Aquaman has been a joke on for decades, and all people know about him is from The Big Bang Theory and Super Friends. Do you think people may still consider him a joke, even though Warner Brothers has turned him into a badass? No, not if you look at Jason Momoa. Jesus. I mean, some people will. It'll always be the case. Doesn't matter. But I mean, look at Jason Momoa. I mean, I think that was the brilliance of what Snyder did. He was like, you know what? We can't just hire some fucking blonde hair, blue eyed with like perfect hair. We can't do that. We got to make somebody rugged and we got to make him a rock star because he's been the butt of a joke for such a long time. That was the brilliance of that casting. So thank you for Snyder for that. And I think people will take it seriously because it'll be something new. At All Sports Tees asks, here's my question, long-time fan here. Isn't it time for DC to reasses? I'm guessing he's meant recess. I don't know. And bring back or continue the DCAU? It's time. The animated universe? I thought they were still making animated movies, as far as I could tell, right? I don't know how to answer that one, dude. There's still animated movies out there. The latest Suicide Squad movie was pretty damn awesome. Sean J.T. King asks, Do you think we'll ever see the main Bat family on screen together? You know, Batgirl, Nightwing, Red Hood, Red Robin, Robin Damian, etc. Yeah, it's a possibility. Never know. They want to expand on it, but I mean, I don't know how long Affleck is gonna stay there. I don't know. We'll see. Alex at Hindros, whatever. You think we'll see some casting announcements for future DC films at Hall H this year? It's possible. It's very possible. They've done it before. Never know. Mick D at _Cy Prague. What do you think are the worst and best case scenarios for DC Warner Brothers Hall H? This is why I didn't want to talk about Comic-Con, because I knew there was a lot of Comic-Con questions. What do you think are the worst and best case scenarios for DC Warner Brothers Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con in terms of announcements and who shows up on stage? And then, what do you think is most likely the case? Well, I think they'll do a lot of Wonder Woman stuff, Aquaman stuff, and Shazam stuff, because we know that those movies are there. But they might do like, hey, here, Birds of Prey, this is what it's going to be about. Maybe they'll say like, hey, who's going to play? Who knows? Maybe Margot Robbie will show up. And like I said, I did a video about it tonight. Maybe Matt Reeves and Ben Affleck will show up to talk about the Batman. We'll see what happens. You know, you got to talk about that. Maybe they'll start talking about, they'll show something for Green Lantern Corps or The Flash. Flash, I mean, Jesus Christ, come on. At Scarzon asks, could you give your thoughts on why critics, film journalists are always going to bat for mediocre female-led reboots of all male-led movies, Ghostbusters and Ocean's 8, but let great female-led movies like Annihilation, Red Sparrow, and Tomb Raider flop? Because they're fucking hypocrites. They're fake feminists that just want to they want to dominate it. Like they said, they want a female James Bond in a Black Widow movie. That's what they want the most. Who cares about new, fresh material? Like I said, Annihilation and Red Sparrow, perfect examples for that. Annihilation was one of the best movies of the year. Awesome, praised by critics. But these guys like fuckwads like Mr. Mendelsohn didn't even probably talk about it. Red Sparrow was unique in itself, and I know a lot of people are comparing Black Widow to Red Sparrow, but I'm going, if you're doing that, you didn't watch Red Sparrow. There's no way that the MCU is going to take what Red Sparrow did and put it in a Black Widow movie. It's rated R for a reason. I mean, I know Black Widow does use her sexuality, but Black Widow is more of a kick-ass and can do a lot of crazy kicks and leg grabs and blah, blah, blah. It's not what the Red Sparrow was about, guys. Jesus Christ. I stop doing that. Just because of the Russian thing, and yes, the correlation of the using the sexuality. Yes, okay, I get that. But fucking Red Sparrow uses sexuality like full on that we're not going to see for Black Widow, okay? So stop it. But yeah, people slept on both of those movies. As for Tomb Raider, I mean, that's a character that was created as a female. And yeah, people slept on that one too. Just goes to show you. People would rather complain than rather support. That's what it is. That's the problem we have nowadays, is people would rather complain. Because, like I said, they pat themselves on the back, they virtue signal, it makes them feel good like they're doing something for a cause because their lives suck. So if they have nothing to complain about and nothing to fight for, they're completely useless. So when Hollywood or even this world, when statistics show that police brutality on shooting young black men are down, doesn't matter. They're still going to take the knee. When there's female-led casts and female-led movies out there for you to watch, or black-led movies out there for you to watch, they don't go support them, and they don't talk about it, because it's always about complaining. It's always about the unfairness out there. There's no equality out there. Nobody wants to talk about how far this country has come with shit. Nobody ever does. Everybody wants to talk about how horrible this place is. Yet they won't move away. They will never move away. But everybody wants to talk about how horrible this place is. But they never want to talk about how far we've come. Do we still have work? Of course. We still have plenty of work to do. But nobody wants to talk about how far we've come with everything. They want to make it seem like it's worse than ever. Because if they do admit that it's not as bad, they're going to be deemed useless. They're not going to have a voice. And this goes from like anybody that's on the right and the left. I always think about that. I'm like, man, if this shit wasn't happening, you wouldn't have a job. You love that this shit is happening, Mr. Conservative, hard, right-wing guy over here, or Miss Hart, liberal, diehard liberal over here. If none of this shit was happening, you would be fucking useless. So you love that this shit's happening. Because then you get to talk about it. Me, I just want to talk and discuss about movies. And I want everybody to be happy. And if you don't like a movie, that's fine. Let's discuss the things that you didn't like about it and the stuff that you did like about it. Let's not just shit on the movie completely because you subscribe to one side. Because you're a Marvel person, so hey, guess what? Everything the DC does sucks. There's nothing good about Man of Steel or Batman vs Superman or Suicide Squad or Wonder Woman. Totally leaving Justice League out of that one. No, you can admit what's good. Just like me being more of a DC guy, I can admit that Infinity War blew my mind and shocked me and is in the top of the best MCU movies that I can sit there and enjoy. Spider-Man Homecoming. Is there things that I absolutely loathed about it? Absolutely. I said absolutely too many times right there. So many things I do not like about Spider-Man Homecoming, but there's a lot of things I do like about it. But yet people are like, on the DC side, constantly shitting on the new Spider-Man and going as far as shitting on Tom Holland's ability to act. And it's the same thing. Not my Spider-Man. Same thing as the not my Superman discussion. It's fucking old. Get the fuck over it. This is what we got. Just because you didn't like it doesn't mean that it's wrong. There are a lot of people that like it. There are a lot of diehard fans of Spider-Man that love Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Love Spider-Man Homecoming. Love what they did with it. Love that they injected something new, with it, I guess. Even though I don't like what they did with the side characters. I didn't mind the Iron Man involvement with it. Some of it, they spoiled way too much. And yeah, it did not seem like an adult movie, which I don't think they were going for. And that's fine. If they want to, cater to kids and teenagers, let them do it. If it didn't resonate with you, then fine. Stop stroking off Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. I'll admit, the first Amazing Spider-Man, great. Some things I didn't like about it. The Amazing Spider-Man 2, some good things. The fact that they killed Gwen Stacy the way they did, very good visuals. But overall, movie was shit. What they did with Rhino, what they did with Electro, what they did with the Goblin, not so great. Even though, I was okay. I was okay with what they did with Goblin, but there's a lot of things that were terrible in that movie. But since they want to push back on Spider-Man Homecoming and new Spidey, they're saying that this Amazing Spider-Man 2 is like a fucking masterpiece, and I'm like, no, it was shit. There's some really good things in that movie. Don't get me wrong. It was on the other day. And yeah, there's some great Spidey web-slinging action in there. But I'm talking about the movie as a whole, dog shit. Dog shit. And they're all saying the same thing about Spider-Man 3. I'm like, no. Yeah, again, good things. God, that fight between Sandman and Peter when he first had the black suit, fucking awesome. This is how we should be like. Say what's so great about it. But then, obviously, as a whole, maybe it just doesn't hold up. I don't know. Anyways, guys, that's it. I've talked enough. Talked for over an hour. I should probably, I'm going to have to get to bed after this. But yeah. Thank you for listening. As always, I love you. And, yeah, if you ever want to hit me up, ask a question, just use the Film Junket podcast hashtag, and I will do my best to answer it for you. All right, guys? Appreciate you listening. I will talk to you later. 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 I will talk to you later.